Today's episode is brought to you in partnership with Sourcefin. Before we kick it off, let me put you on game real quick. Joe, you know that feeling where you have a big deal lined up, mara you have a money problem? Relax. Sourcefin has your back. Whether it's a tender, purchase order, or you're waiting for an invoice to pay out, Sourcefin works with SMMEs and can have you covered in 48 hours. So relax, and I'm a description here episode 2, tap a linky and apply now.
I went onto the field. The next thing I just heard, "Hey, Ngwenya!" And the ball was flying like that. Pass. Hard. I swear I
But about test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I returned.
Yeah.
Umnandi.
Nilihlapa ka eng so.
I wouldn't know. Give me it's brown. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was very uncomfortable because there are some of these things that you would use and they're very itchy on the body. Very itchy. I have a picture at home. Yeah, Pirates. And the players were still itching when we were taking a picture before the match. And you can tell this smile is not a smile, it's a grin. And I went close to the bench and I said to Walter, I need to get out. I'm not feeling well. And Walter said, no, okay, fine. Finish the half. And then we will take you out at halftime. And then I know that's fair. Just when I went back, whap, I was trying to push the ball, this man just came.
Yeah.
When my foot landed, and there went my trip. Now I don't know why I attract these clubs that will have problems every time.
Yeah.
They say, no, you have good coaching skills and all of these things, but we will do the lineup for you. And that will not happen. Yeah, that will not happen. This player is free because, and I have people who are my connections and they tell me, hey, Muna, there's this player who is free, there's that player, and then I quickly grab this one because it's available, grab that one, and hence one has been surviving, with teams and all these things. But I can imagine where a budget is put on the table, they say, no, coach, here is money, buy who you want.
It's a privilege that
you I've never had.
Yeah. Coach Dendence Malesela.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
coach.
What's up, bro?
Sharp.
Good.
Coach, let me start by thanking you for coming all the way with Rona today.
Yes.
It's just about having a chat, personally, I'm a big fan of yours. You're one of my favorite coaches, and I'm sure a lot of people share the sentiment. So it's just about getting to know the human being, but also getting to discuss your career and unpack various things. So coach, before we get into your life and your career, both as a player and as a coach, can we just discuss very briefly, have you been following what's happening locally in the league, the title race, the league in general? And let's start with at the top. How do you see this title race playing out?
Quite interesting. Unlike the other seasons, where you'll have one team already leading by a big margin. So now it's quite tight, and that's what football must be like. Although I feel like at some stages I probably felt like it's going to be the same thing.
Yes.
But now it's getting tighter.
Is there any team particularly that has really impressed you?
Look, to be honest, I think I don't know what's happening with Sundowns now. They've changed a bit somewhat. The game, I don't like fast games.
Okay.
But it is too slow.
It's too slow, yes.
It's too slow. They don't create as many opportunities as they used to be.
Mm.
You know, Pirates at the same time, flip side, they have gone back to playing too fast.
Yes, yes.
You know, so you can never tell now. You know, Sekhukhune, well, I wasn't sure from the beginning, and now they're slowing down. Who else is there?
Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah. My opinion is that Kaizer Chiefs has got players,
Yes.
you know, and I don't want to point the finger at who is not doing what or who is. I just think they need to get a particular starting lineup. You know, I mean, stable 11 or 15 players, stable, and then they will know where they are going.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But you think the quality is there for them to compete?
They have quality. I think they have quality.
And then in terms of our national teams, I mean, it's been a long time we've been in this position. The World Cup next year, our under 20s just came back, under 17 as well. I mean, it's obviously very positive, and we're enough from someone as an expert, someone who's worked in South African football for so long. What do you think has contributed for us to be in this position, and how can we maintain it and even improve on it going forward?
I think it's the improvement of the standard of football, first of all, but also I think the identification process, you know, because identifying players is a very difficult thing and people underestimate it. They see a youngster and they think, this one will make it, you know. But I think it's a combination of a number of things. A combination of the identification first. Number two, the improvement within our league and also the participation in the Champions League.
Yes.
You know, and also I think it's the coach allowing the players to be what they are and not trying to change them. You know, so many times you see situations where players play this way at their clubs, and when they get to the national team, sometimes they even change his position, you know, to a ridiculous one, you know, if for lack of a better word. So I think it's a combination of all those things, you know, plus the understanding of our players now, how important it is, because at some stages I felt like we are losing it.
Yes.
Because there is no more ambition of players trying to go overseas and players playing to go to the World Cup and stuff like that. So now we see different mentalities, you know, of certain players getting there, and maybe some of them being more professional than we used to be. We had a spell where it was more like players are satisfied in going to clubs, certain clubs, for the benefits that they would get at the club. Now I think it's more of the football than the benefits that they get.
Yes. Players actually want to go there, play, win, move to the next level.
Yes.
Okay, Coach, then let's then get into discussing your life, your career. I personally, I never got to watch you play because I got to watch you play when you're already a veteran, because I started watching football 96, 97 when the PSL started, and by then you were a veteran at Sundowns. So let's just unpack it from the beginning. Can you just tell us, Ori, where were you born and what kind of a household were you raised in?
Born in Atteridgeville, and then we relocated to Mabopane. My father took us to Mabopane for whatever reason. We were not so happy with him, but in the end, I had to thank him for that move, because it's probably that's what paved my way into, you know, serious football.
Yes. How old were you when you moved?
How old was I? I think 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was 13 going 14, somewhere there. You know, and I think had that move not happened, it probably would have wasted my time in terms of, you know, playing serious football. When I say serious football, I mean wearing soccer boots and all of that, because in Atteridgeville, I never used to have that chance. But also I was torn between being a track athlete,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and also playing football. Because football in Atteridgeville, I would say there was a lot of, you know, keep it saying, man, you know, when you belong to this area and that area and all of that, you know, because the good clubs are at a certain area. I'm from Ostad, and you know, and football was more komatebeleng and all of that.
Yes, yes.
You know, and it was not easy to break in. You know, so then when we got to Mabopane, then I met a very good group of people who were very serious about football, you know, and the Make brothers, where Lawrence Make comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, so they introduced me to soccer boots, you know. I remember I had to play with one Commando. There was a shoe called Commando.
Yeah, Commando, yeah.
Commando, and one old Olympic soccer boot, you know, because they had scrapes of soccer boots in their boxes. Yeah, the one it's you know. So I had my first boot there, you know, and eventually I managed to save some money. I did not grow in a like struggling family, no.
Sharp.
Nearly sharp,
Yeah,
but you'd never get soccer boots.
Yeah. It's priority.
My father had other ideas, you know, about my father. He would never say go to school or something. Like, he wanted you to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
miracle, you know, every school holidays I had to work. I must find a temp somewhere and work. You know, at some stages because he was working at the South African breweries. At some stages, ne ke konopa case tot pitko. You know, but you know, within those things, I managed to save money enough to buy myself my first pair of soccer boots. You know, and people didn't even know this name, Parking Le Coq Sportif.
Yeah.
Le Coq.
Anything back there?
It was there. It's an old thing. It's an old Tottenham space triangular kit. You know, so I bought it. There was a sports shop called Olympia. Paul Kruger. You know, and that was my first soccer boot, and I cherish them like I don't know what.
Yeah.
You know, and that's those soccer boots. I call them miracle boots, because I then started getting into your then Buputatswana schools, national teams, and eventually the Buputatswana national team. You know, I played, and I was using the same boot. And then it's a fail. You know, somebody, very strong. So basically, that's my background to football. And then on, you know, when I was playing go Bobsol, my to be honest, my heart was not there, because my ambition was to eventually play for Pirates or Sundowns.
No fever ing though. Really?
Pirates at the time.
No fever Pirates. Okay.
Yeah. Pirates at that time, big time. We would actually fight if you start a bad conversation about Pirates. Yeah. So I was given an opportunity to trial with Pretoria Kelly's, which would still be suitable for me, because Atteridgeville, it's a club Atteridgeville. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes we're footballing, and when I tell these kids, they say, no, I'm lying, and what. I was taken to training. I was using £4 to go to and from training.
So from Mabopane to
To
Atteridgeville.
Atteridgeville,
Okay.
2 taxis.
Yeah.
So the total amount was 4 rand
Mm.
to go back, and I was getting 2 rand.
When is this? Kibu 19?
85, 86.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like 20-ish at the
Yes,
time.
I'm 20-ish
Yes,
at that
yes.
time. Yeah. And then, hey, I was put on the side, go training. Every time when they were running,
Yeah,
I would be involved and what, and it was heavy.
yeah.
It was very heavy. And then when they started playing football, then Kidula Monte Mola Varne, Latari Bolon Fanagit. So I went. Eventually, I told the man who took me. There's a guy who was coaching us, Harry Mativedi. He played for Kaiser, for Pretoria Kelly's, and he's the one who recommended that I go to Kelly's and all of that. And I told him I can't. I can't go to training and I'm watching every time. And while I'm watching, I don't know whether it's because I already had this eye for football, the coaching eye. And I was looking at this guy, I was,
Yeah.
and this one,
Yeah. I want to need to. Yeah.
I can play here
Yeah.
and all of that. And it just disappointed me to a point where I said, I'm not going anymore.
But at that point, I mean, you're like 20, you're trying to break through. Are you working on the side? Are you continuing with school? What's the situation outside
It was
football?
school and then school, and because we had situations go TNT, where there were strikes for 2 years in a row, and my father couldn't take it and said, "Stop, go and work."
Yes.
And then I started working.
Okay.
So I was working at the same time trying to play football. Fortunately, most of the teams were training late in the afternoon because a lot of the players they were employed, wherever they were employed. And then I went back home to my team. And then there was this bobsleigh thing, and then I got a chance again to say, "Hey, we are taking you to Sundowns."
Yeah.
And I was actually beginning to get tired of this thing, and I said, if people don't want me, there'll be a club Mabopane that we can promote on our own. Because my team, we had quite talented players. Red Dot Romance.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, we were poor, man. We were very poor. We were running this team from when it started. We were running it from our school, pocket money, and all of that. Everybody had to raise. I had to raise about 7 rand a week. Which was very difficult. You can imagine Baufa Ranta every day.
Yeah.
So but we mixed those things. But we managed a lot of things. We managed to actually buy some players, soccer boots, buy ourselves a kit. So I decided, let me go back. And then came this thing, Sundowns. And I was introduced to this doctor for Sundowns, and Nohonale, Nikilele Horotmane Webarki Derek. I don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah.
Derek take me to the surgery. Hey man, I've got a player. The very first thing that man said, "Hey Derek, di mar laitiki." Ne, my brother, di light is the mar.
Yeah.
I said, hey, here comes trouble again. Then I went to training. Same thing happened.
Our great chance.
I was just running, that time they had Bu Harris and all of that, and Bu Jesu Queen, and Mbogaranga slow game, man.
Yeah.
And after a few days, I said, no, I'm not going anymore. And then I went back again, Then I started playing for Russia Blizzards in the Bobsol League. Russia Blizzards was fine, you know. Me and this captaincy thing, we went along, you know.
Are you a defender this whole time? Modale is a defender.
No.
Okay.
Sometimes as a midfielder. Most of the time is a
As a
midfielder.
midfielder, yeah.
Yeah, most of the time is a wholly midfielder. You know, but I could score goals as well. You know, so Bobsol, then for some reason, here comes this man one Sunday, go high, you know. He was a friend of my brother's, and also now he's my brother. He just comes to me, you know, and ka speedinyana fela emfana ke man kutla ba re wa lebega man. Yeah. And I didn't even think this man would even talk about football with me, because he was a music man and also ke motho wa dibuka, you know. Yeah. Quite educated and all of that. Now I associated him with that.
Yeah.
Education,
Yeah.
and then he said, no, I must take you to Pirates. Pirates, when? But that's in my head.
Yeah, on a kukena guy, when I Pirates, yeah.
Pirates. Yeah, no. Bona, next week, Pirates is playing go back in George Koch. So, but you must come to where I stay. I'm staying at Glen Vista.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. I can really rest here, yeah, Wits.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. When not Raya taxi, but fitla mola no, ke fologa ko bar, and then mo bar would sort then Vista e kae eng. Hey, Johannesburg. I've never been to Johannesburg. The only time I went was when my father was driving us to Mamuhuluaka. You know, but I went. They said 11 o'clock. I was there 9 o'clock. You know, and I had to find a public phone and phone the rest and tell them that I've arrived. Fine. Long story short, they took me to Josh Koch. I was surprised. This man is, how does he know the directors, the Pirates? You know, because I was sitting with them.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe fortunately for me, Pirates lost. You know, against Swallows 1-0. And then the following week I had to go to training. You know, went. It was not easy as well. First training session, I go in with my bekenyana, you know. And then we, you know, from Pretoria, there was 3 of us. It was me, Nick, and Basil. And the guys go in the change room. Omulomung sits wherever they want to sit. I just take the nearest seat from the door.
Yeah.
And the group here, Soweto is coming. You know, they come in one bus. Yeah. Hey, amathoma tsena mola. Hey, yengwe. Hlala mina lapho. Then I shift. The next one comes in. Hey, baba. And I don't why intimidate. I get Zulu hapa. I get Zulu nesitsusa nakwela ka.
Yeah.
Shift until I went out of the change room.
Sure.
I changed kamola di plastic nyana tsaka ka mahara beke and it was cool. You know, so the very first thing when I went onto the field, the next thing I just heard, hey, Ngwenya! And the ball was flying like that. Pass. Hard.
But about test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I return.
Yeah.
Umnandi. So there were tests.
Yeah.
You know, and it was players now are finding it easy because the players now are very accommodative. And Rona, it was worse because it also was a situation, where do you come from? You know, Tlapa, Johannesburg, you come from Pretoria. You know, and at that time, I think Nick was the only one. Nick and Basil were the only ones playing.
Nick Sishwe.
Nick Sishwe, yeah.
And Basil
Steenkamp.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you start playing, you know, ball is my ball. I also triple it. I saw fitlu fitla mo wena. Usambani we lad.
Yeah.
Pasa ngwenya, pasa. Ke pasa eng. But you know, as things went on, you start seeing them even changing your name. Denny.
Yeah.
And you must know, you're doing something
Hopefully
right.
I know.
Yeah, now you're getting it right. But what's funny is that after 2 days, and the coach called us, you know, there were about 7 of us trialists. The coach called us all, and he chose 2 players. And he said, the coach was Jingles Pereira at that time. And he said, you and you can come to training tomorrow. The rest of the guys, thank you for coming. You know, we appreciate whatever. But it's the end of the road here.
Well, now you're not part of the 2.
Huh?
You're not one of the 2 that I
No.
chose. Okay.
And I was kicking myself. And I said, how did I fail? Because I was given an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, to play, you know, unlike the other 2 teams. And then I said, damn it, you know, on the road, on the way home, the late situation made matters worse. Ubulela le driver now, but it's go pele na ka mo morao le Basil. I know, man, hey, I bratsitso wa bana bafana ba le ba itu ola tlang David Tony le ola wa nthem wa go Binoni. Ai ba le ba monate man. Ba shapo man. Mara bafana ba bang ba hai. Tshwantse ba jimenyana ba re. Ke re mara this man is addressing me. In a way. And I got even more disappointed. So I go home. Following day, I don't go to training. It's okay. The next thing I know, in the evening, there's a call for you. Kintatomong Arkwa Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, Unyaka. And then I went, I answered the phone. Yeah, man. Why didn't you come to training?
How?
Me come to training. I guess the coach said we must do. No, man. Nebasarewena, man. You must come to training tomorrow and come with your ID and your passport photos. 2 passport photos. Why? No, we are going to sign you. You gotta get prank call.
Yeah.
And then I went to training, all of those things. In actual fact, they did not trust that I will bring the IDs, and they brought a cameraman.
Okay, go into Maratlo.
No, go training.
For training,
Yeah,
okay.
to take pictures.
Yeah.
This is real.
Serious, yeah.
Registration form. This is your salary. Sharp. Didn't even care how much it was.
How much was it, by the way?
550 per month.
This is like what, 1986?
87.
87.
87.
550.
550.
Not bad.
Yeah, I was earning 408 kumbereko.
Okay, so increase.
So you add the 595,
Yeah.
550 to the 480, you know, you get almost 1,000, something like
that. Yes.
You know, so I said it's fine. All I wanted was to play.
Yes.
You know, establish myself. All these other things will follow. You know, so that was my start at Pirates.
And then from there, take us through your Pirates journey, because at some point I know you become a captain. and you win the club their first trophy in in a long time, kind of.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that I joined Pirates in August.
Mm.
August, September, October, November, I was captain.
Sure.
November of the same year.
What do you think led to that?
Nick was the late Nick was the captain,
Mhm.
and he felt like, God, he doesn't have the luck, for the club. Because remember, when I got to Pirates, when I started playing, we were sitting number 17 on the log, but a lot of it also was based on the fact that Pirates was playing the JPS knockout at that time.
Mm. Mm.
And we were behind
Mm.
with games. But that did not mean that we were not in danger.
Mm. Mm.
We were seriously in danger. And the worst thing was also the fact that the finances were not good
Mm.
at the club. And there was a lot of drama. I will explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick felt like he's not having a good spell, and then they need to choose a new captain. And it was done through voting. The players will put in a name, in the pot and all of that. We all put names and all of that. And then just there and there, then the names were, the captain was revealed, the deputy captain was revealed. And it came like, congratulations. Then I was actually not even, for me, it was not even important. I was just numb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jackie, that one will become the captain.
Yeah,
Life goes on. The biggest priority is to save the club.
Mm. Mm.
And I said, then you are the new captain of Orlando Pirates. Stand up. Let us clap hands for you. And I started looking. I wanted another den around us,
Yeah.
because for me it was a shock. Yeah, wait, stand up. And I stood up. Pa, 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 pa. And sometimes when people approve of something, you can tell through their faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could see that the approval from the players.
Yes.
These guys really chose me.
Mm. Mm.
It's not like the officials did me a favor or
Mm.
something
Mm.
like that. And that's the start of my captaincy of Pirates. And obviously there will be those who do not approve. I remember the late Botsotso said,
Those are Makai.
Botsotso Makai,
Yeah.
says, "Heish, hayi madoda, until nini mara kwaphuma ibhari yasepitori kwangena enye yasepitori."
Then, so you end up take us through the journey of then saving the team.
Yeah, it was tough, man. At some stages, we had situations where players wanted to sort of strike, for lack of a better word, to hold a strike and not participate in certain matches. I think that's after, ne? I think that's after we saved the club from there, because we ended up at number 9, I think.
Mm. Mm.
And then the following year, then this thing started. Substage we were playing Aces, Kamo, Lucas Moripe,
Yeah.
then Super Stadium.
Yeah.
And then there was this thing to say, hey guys, we are not going to participate in this match. We are already at the stadium in the change room, because if we don't get our money, I think we're going to our 7th day or 8th day, where the money was not available. And I said to the players, hey, guys, you'll cause a whole lot of problems here. People can die. And with the behavior of the supporters at that time, it was easy, for people to start fighting. It's either the supporters are going to fight against the officials of the club,
Or the players.
or us, the players, or there will be a fight amongst themselves. Because some will be saying, no, these players are right, and some will be saying they are wrong. So we must be careful what we do. This is not the right time. If we want to have any kind of revolution or strike or whatever it is, let's do it away from the supporters and everybody else, away from the eyes of the people, But at the moment, what we can do best, now my suggestion, will be that we cover the sponsor's name as a sign of revolt, and then we had this tape, come change room, and then we put on the tape, Molara Kwala Chibuku, close. But unfortunately, as we were warming up, the tape came off. But I said, okay, Moilongor, it's still stuck. Let's go with it so that people can see what's happening. At the same time, the officials are also trying to do something with the situation, because they were already told, hey, there's this challenge, but Dan is talking to the players, is addressing the players, and then we had this man from Mabopane, he passed on, Saniboy Ngobeni. At the same time, they were organizing with him, and he came with his briefcase. We're not hollow guy. We're not hollow guy.
Yeah.
My salary was up at that time, I think. I think it went up to 1,002 or something like that.
It was a lot at that time.
Yeah, it was a lot.
1,002.
It was good money. I bought my bedroom suite TV in quickly.
Yeah.
Very quick. Because I can now hold this thing that says you must not sleep on your parents' bed.
Yeah.
You
So
must
the
have
first
your
thing
own
you
bed.
want,
It's a bed, and it must not be just be a bed. It must be a good bedroom suite. So we were paid. Somehow we played and we won. But obviously the challenges were not over. Because the sponsor money was too little. And sometimes the supporters were getting disgruntled with the team and all of that. But the first thing that we said we must do is to get the supporters back. And how do we get them back? The only way to get them back is with good results.
To win.
We have to win. And slowly they started coming back. And the club was getting better, but still it was a struggle. And because we were concerned with this thing, and particularly the fact that now I was traveling with Nick every day, and then we would discuss these things to say, hey, but why doesn't the club get somebody who can be a financial director?
Yes.
And we fought for something to happen. I just don't want to reveal these things because I've got two witnesses who know that. How did it become that Pirates got better financially?
Okay.
We were fighting, we fought, we went to the office almost every day, to have changes at the club.
And the right changes were made.
and they were made, in terms of the office and all of that. We, I even threatened to stop playing. I said, if that doesn't happen and this doesn't improve, I am not going to play anymore. I would rather go back, go bobsolo, and that's it. Or if it's not bobsolo, I'll find my way out of the country.
Where was Dr. Ivan Khoza when all of this is happening?
He was not there at the time.
Okay, I'm starting to.
He was not there at
Yeah.
the time. I only met him a few times. Go Soweto. There was a filling station where we would put petrol
Yes.
for our traveling from Johannesburg from Pretoria to Johannesburg and back. So I met him twice there. Until he became.
And he's the man who ultimately helped to lift the team.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he did. Financially, he did. The club got better. The club got better.
And please tell us about that cup final. Because you were the captain, you were very young, young man, captaining Pirates. Was against Chiefs, eh?
It was against
Soweto
Chiefs.
Derby final.
Yeah.
Do you remember your lineup?
I can try.
I'll see how many of those I know. Probably very few.
I think we had Innocent Mayoyo.
Okay, I know Innocent.
Stuart Johnson. Myself and Moses Kamanga. Mbazo, yeah. And then Sipho Sikonde, Vincent Magroti, Ernest Makanya. Who else was playing? I know Nick did not play in that final. But then we had Basil Steenkamp, who eventually got injured, and then Lawrence came in. And then we had Mandla, Metro Blitz. Yeah. And then we had Bashin Matlangu. I'm missing one. Who did we have on the left? If it is not, I think it is Max. Kada Max Kima. Yeah, I think it was Max or Putzai. I am not sure. I'm just forgetting this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the bench I would not remember too much, but a few people I remember. Yeah. I think that was the squad at that time. Yeah. I know the goal came from a combination of two strikers, the winning goal. Because Basil had then scored and then he was taken to hospital.
Yeah.
And then Lawrence came in and then he scored the winner from, I think it was Sipho, Mandla, Lawrence, and then goal.
And how did it feel to play a Soweto Derby that time? Especially in this one that is a final. The fans, the pressure, everything.
Yeah, you would not sleep. And for me, I agree mostly what we used to watch at that time was only Pirates and Chiefs. Most of the time, when there's a match that you will see on TV, it was
the big two, yeah.
Yeah, and it was one's dream to say, hey, I must play in one of these Soweto derbies, one day. And well, my first one was not the
final, yeah.
It was not the final. Okay, and it was so intense because we had not won against Chiefs ever since I came there.
Sure.
Yeah, our win was a draw. So at that time, we were so determined to say, hey, this thing must stop. And it stops now. And...
Which Chiefs you have that time?
For Dr. Maxi, Fanny Madida, I remember Lucas, I think, was there. It was quite a strong team, very strong. And Chiefs being Chiefs, at that time, every time they had the ball, you not only have pressure from trying to get it back or win it back, you get pressure from the supporters. And the whistling was deafening because I get no snot vuvuzela.
Yeah.
It was deafening. Rona re na noši mona, we call them Bafana Mamelodi, you know, ene re tla hae le bo Nick, ba re kry-ile Bafana Mamelodi, you know. Yeah, so it first starts during the week. You will see at training where here comes this tense moment, and in particular with the final, it was very tense. And you know, all the compounded by all the rituals that you have to go through, you know, our traditional things. Yeah.
Take us through some of those.
And you know, for me, and you know, people keep asking me this question to say, what do you think about muthi and all these things? And I say, nah, guys. When I was born and started realizing things, I found muthi here. You know, I found people using muthi for whatever reason. And I don't think I'm this person who can tell you muthi works or it doesn't work or whatever. You know, sometimes you just need to conform.
Yeah.
You know, to what is required. And the second thing is that I'm employed at the club. You know, and when I'm employed at the club, there are certain instructions or rules that I have to live by. Because I have a contract with the club that says the club will do whatever and whatever and whatever. Sometimes it doesn't mention what are those things. And I just comply. And I always tell myself, this will probably not change the way I will play the game. You know, whether it influences the results, I don't know.
Yeah. But the club says retuna so you're just gonna do it.
Now I'm doing, and I'll do my part.
Yeah.
You know, now the I don't know whether it was the fortunate or the unfortunate part of it is that I always had to go first. You know, but captain, I wouldn't know. Give me it's brown. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Sometimes it was very uncomfortable because there are some of these things that you would use and they're very itchy on the body. Very itchy. I have a picture at home. Yeah, Pirates. And the players were still itching when we were taking a picture before the match. And you can tell that's this smile is not a smile, it's a grin. You know, it's you know, so but you just had to conform. I at some stages I had to wake up at about 3 in the morning, at 3 a.m. You know, and we go into this bush. This man, are they not worried or no before the match starts? You know, and sometimes it was quite uncomfortable. And sometimes, you know, I felt for the other guys because we are going into this bath. And you know that there's a player who's got a problem, you know, with water. You know, and he's number 4. You know, and the other ones are going to go after him. And you say, man, we don't diamond. For me, it was good because now I'm number 1 every time. I don't have to anybody. You know, so, but like I said, now, for me, it was immaterial whether you use muthi or not. You know, it's whether you want to believe that, you know, and how much of it are you taking into your head, you know, because at some stage I remember when I was coaching you know, but trekking forward. When I was coaching Garankuwa United, you know, we got into the change rooms. It was in the first division, and there was the smell there, bad. In the Kamu change room, there were black things on top of the benches where the players were going to sit. And we didn't have a plan, you know. And I went outside. I asked for the kitman to give me a bucket. I'm for bucket. Then I took the leaves up like I did, and then I mixed it until the water became green. And then I told the kitman, no, start outside. I'm change room. I'm change room. Tell the leaves. And this team that was intimidated.
They thought
They thought we came with something very serious.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember we won the match.
Yeah.
So I said, sometimes
It's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you have I'm sorry to bring it up, but then you have this horrific leg break
Yeah.
in your peak. Oh, firstly, what happened? Because some of us never saw it. What was it? A tackle or what was it?
And you know, it's one of this. Well, when you are asking it like this, for sure, I know people need to know what happened and all of that. But sometimes when you meet a person in the street, hey, we're in Danny, sharp, hey, sharp, man. Why it's okay? Hopla na kwela no robe halut.
Yeah.
It hands you off. You know. Yeah. You know. This thing came with a lot of. It cost me a lot of things. A lot in my life. You know. Remember at that time. When you had to play overseas, you would sort of sneak out of the country because 1990 I was actually scouted. You know, Walter da Silva was organizing that. The late Walter da Silva, he was our coach. He was organizing that I play overseas somewhere. So he had connections with Porto
in Portugal. Yeah.
And he comes to me and he says, how would you like to play in Portugal? And I said, how possible is that? And he said, no, the people have already come. They have seen you. You're not even going to trial.
Yeah.
You know, they are going to sign you. So we play this one match and next week you're going. But you must just be here. Keep quiet. Don't tell even your family. Don't tell anybody until everything is finalized. Is complete.
Yeah.
I said, okay, when am I going? He said, possibly Tuesday. We are playing Swallows on Saturday. FNB. You know? And maybe it was this anticipation of the trip or something, and we go into the match and I say to Nick, hey, brother, I'm not feeling well. He says, why? I says, you know, I can't lift my spirits or anything. I'm just down.
Yeah.
And it's heavy for me to play today. I need to go out now. And he said, no, wait a minute and what. And then I ignored him and I went close to the bench and I said to Walter, I need to get out. I'm not feeling well. And Walter said, no, okay, fine. Finish the half. And then we will take you out at halftime. And then that's fair. Just when I went back, whap, I was trying to push the ball. This man just came.
Yeah.
When my foot landed, there he came. And there went my trip. There went my money. You know, so it was very costly. You know, and sometimes people ask me, have you forgiven this man? I said, yeah, I've forgiven, but I cannot forget because it cost me a
Changed
lot.
a lot. Yeah, took a lot away from you.
Took away a lot of things,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
from me. Probably we'll be talking a different thing.
And how long were you out of action?
Almost a year.
Because by then the medical things were not
No, they were
as
good.
sophisticated. Were they good?
They were good.
Okay.
They were good. I had a very good doctor. I had a very good doctor. But I'm going to be honest, you know, I think now, okay, the influence of people delayed my recovery.
Yeah.
You know. And then people tell you, ne, o na le ntate o mong ko Marapiane, kai mola.
Yeah.
Diamond o lokisa marapo, and then you forget about the medical side, and then you run there. Hey, this man I'm ngapaluto man. You know, and it delayed my healing process.
Yeah.
You know, because also you've got all these scars, and you need to approach your doctor.
Yeah.
And I was scared to approach him.
Yeah.
I want to say, hey man, this is the situation and what. And it took the process longer. But also because of our beliefs at that time, then he gave me two options. He says, no, if we put a plaster in, it will take you about 6 months to heal. But if we put a pin in, it will take you less than 3 months. You know, that pin will put in, and then after a while we'll take it out. But the danger of the pin is that if you get another break of the sort, for us to take out that pin will be a problem. You know, so I said, rather let's put in a plaster. Because had I gone for the pin, I would have healed very quickly. I would have played much quicker than the time I took. You know, so education as well. You know, that counted.
And during this time when you're out, what did it teach you about life? I mean, how were you doing emotionally? What kind of support did you have?
I knew the difference between honesty and dishonesty within people. I knew people who cared and people who didn't care. You know, and I also knew that when you are in an organization, you are only as good as when you are useful to them. You know, because I had a lot of struggles. A lot. Financial struggles, you know, because sometimes my money was not coming.
Like the team is not paying you?
Yeah, I would get last month's salary this month on the 25th. And when I say, but you haven't paid me for this month, but when you are selfish, we just paid you now. And I said, but that was last month. You know, fortunately, I didn't have too many debts. You know, I had settled most of what I had bought and all of that. So it wasn't troubling me that much. The challenge was at that time I had my son. You know, and I put him in a good school.
Now you have to pay for it.
Regularly, like you used to. And now the school is troubling you as well. And him being my son was also a challenge. Because you can imagine, here's this man who's in the public eye and is not paying for his child at school. And my son was taking all this nonsense, you know, from the schoolmates and all of these things. You know, but so, you know, by the grace of God, we survived. You know, we survived.
And then what year was it when the injury happens, and what year is it when you come back to action?
It was 90. And then I came back late 91.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think you were the same player after that? Because what we often see is some players come back, but others, when they come back, they never really the same.
I think I actually got better.
Okay.
You know, this injury taught me a lot of things. You know, to read tackles and all these things, and you know, and just be smart. You know, and also the change of environment, because remember when I came back, that was when Bra Ivan was there.
Yes.
You know, and he suggested to me that go to Manning Rangers
Yes.
and just find yourself, because there's a lot of pressure at Pirates because people will always associate you with your injury.
Yes.
You know, so go and recover. The one thing that you always have a problem with, and it will not go away, is the fear of getting injured again.
Yes.
You know, so I went to Rangers, and at that time, the coaches were believing in people to, you know,
Aggressive.
to be very aggressive and all of that. So probably that also helped me, you know, to play in these conditions. And then stayed at Rangers and became captain again. And, you know, it was good. And then I had to return to Pirates, back to Pirates. And honestly, I didn't feel good, you know.
Going back to Pirates.
Yeah. I had already gotten used to the environment at Manning Rangers, and, you know, feeling so welcome and all of these things. And when I came back, the management at Pirates had changed and whatever, and I couldn't connect with certain things, you know. And I asked Ivan to release me. Yeah, I think it was 94.
So when you look back, do you think, because a year later, but we won the Champions League, do you ever look back and think, if you had stayed, you would have been part of that?
No. I didn't. It didn't even shake me. I was happy for them, but it didn't mean anything to me. You know, because I was comfortable, and you know, the club owner at Manning Rangers trusted me so much. You wouldn't go into Manning Rangers if I didn't approve.
Yeah.
You know, as a player or whatever. Even the coaches, he would ask me, "We are trying to get this man.
What do you think?
What do you think?" And if I say yes, you are taken. If I say no, no.
So you went back to Rangers?
I went back to Rangers.
Okay. And then how long do you stay at Rangers, and how do you then end up?
I stayed 94, 95, 96. Yeah. And 96, that's when Sundowns bought me.
How did the Sundowns move happen?
To be honest, I became, you know, because, okay, first it was the salary that I was not happy about. I wanted an adjustment on my salary because I'd been sitting on the same salary for some time. And also, I needed the club to pay for my accommodation because I didn't want to pay for my accommodation anymore. And then third is that I did not appreciate the fact that when I had, you know, all along when I'm negotiating, I'm sitting with the owner of the club, you know, alone. And then all of a sudden the coach wants to come in and, you know, and sit with us and know what I'm.
So now the coach wants to be part of your contract negotiations.
I don't mind him knowing.
Yeah.
Him knowing my salary there, because yes, eventually the coaches will
They will know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't want him to sit in that meeting because it makes me uncomfortable, you know. And he refused, and I said, rather let me go, man. You know.
And this is like Gordon Egerson era, ne?
Yeah. And I would rather go, you know. And also, I was wise enough at that time to understand that my relationship with the coach was getting sour.
Okay.
You know, because of certain remarks that that I would hear in the change room. And me being me, I will ask you straight.
Yeah.
You know, what do you mean by this? You know, I do not want, you know, because we had a mixture of players. You know, I come from with that era of people where anything that seems racist or something like that would offend me. You know, so I would listen to when black players are commenting and when the white players are commenting and all of these things and try and correct it there and then. So there were certain things that I was not happy about that I just felt this environment was just not going to be healthy for me. You know, because I just don't want to burst and get angry over things, you know. And me being the leader of the group, I need to be,
because you're a senior player at the time.
yes, and I need to be sane every time. So I felt no, I need to go. And I asked the club to put me on transfer, which they did. Said I'll continue working. And that's the season when we were sitting on top of the log.
That's when they won the log.
Yes.
The first season of the PSL.
Yes, I played most of those matches.
Oh.
You know, and then they put me on transfer, but I then realized that I'm on transfer, Screamer Chavala. And then asked Sundowns to buy me, and they bought me.
Manning Rangers Clinton Larson, ne?
Yes, Clinton.
Karen Jordan, was it that?
Karen, came, George Komontarakis.
Simon Makubela.
Simon was there.
I remember that team, yeah.
Yeah, Simon was there. Barkimang, this boy from Zimbabwe, they left. Chikoya, Innocent Chikoya. Yeah.
Very good team.
Mark Davies
was defender.
Yes.
Bradley Meir, I think.
Yeah, Bradley Meir. Yeah.
Was a very good team.
Yeah. Grant Johnson was there, I think.
The striker,
yeah. No, the goalkeeper.
Or the keeper who's now at Pirates.
Who's now at the national
went to
team.
Pirates, who's now national team
in the national
goalkeeper
team.
coach. Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
Okay, and then take us through the Sundowns move.
Even Poland, but Poland left.
Poland
left, yeah. We had quite a useful team, Very, very useful. Very useful.
And how does the Sundowns move? So you're unhappy about the salary, the accommodation, some of the politics.
Yeah.
So now you transfer to Sundowns. Take us through that that move and how it came about.
But yeah, that was a swift move. Just they just bought me, go to Sundowns, negotiate my salary. Sundowns is one club that has always been, I think they were lucky, or they were good with handling their finances. They've always been good. I had a very good salary, one of which was a first for me. It just leaped from, from where I was to a very, for me, big amount.
How much are we talking? This is like 97.
I was earning about 23,000 rand.
Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot.
Like a 97, sounds like a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Which class, ne?
Yes.
Bonatash.
It's quite a lot. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, you'd get lower in terms of with deductions and all of that. Yeah. Maybe it goes to 18 or something like that. But it was quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
I remember at that time, there were houses that were costing, the house. Okay, fine. I changed the house into something else, but the house that I was living in, or the house that I have, those houses were costing about 17 to 19,000. So with one salary, I could buy.
So to buy the house was like 9.
Yeah, 17 to 19,000. Now they're costing about 300.
So no salary.
Now they're costing about 380 to somewhere there. So I would buy it salary one. If I really wanted to. So and now because there was Brasten coaching the club, and we couldn't find our footing and all of that. Then the following season then came Ted,
Ted, yeah.
you know. And you know, when there are changes and you are now getting old and you know, but you can still play, but you get worried. Hey, here comes a new coach. What is he going to say? You know, for some funny reason, when Ted comes in, he says to me, he calls me and Ogi, Makalakala,
Kalakalan, yeah.
and he says to me, I do not want an assistant coach. Yeah? So I want you guys to be my assistants. Help me with the warm-ups, help me with this, but what I'm going to ask you to do as well is to learn from me. Okay. Assistant coaches. And then you ask yourself, how are the players going to take it? But it was received very well.
So you're like a player / assistant coach.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is that where you get, and we're gonna get into your coaching, but is this why we see some of these similarities between your style of coaching, the late Ted?
Big influence. Very big influence. The difference is that, like I said, okay, maybe we'll talk about that when we get to the coaching part. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's the base of it. Yeah.
And then, that was a glorious era for Sundowns, because we get 3 consecutive league titles. This is your
and also I think we went into almost every final on offer.
Rothman's Cup at the time, the Chiefs.
Yeah, the one that you need to forget.
But just tell us briefly.
It was very, very. It was a very disappointing phase, you know.
Yeah.
The Rothman's Cup.
But what made that team? Because I remember that team. It was Bo, Themba Mnguni, Joas Makgolejo, Page Matlangu, Rafael Chuku. Like, what made that team so good from someone on Naleda?
I think it's the talent that was identified, you know, and this is where people did not realize something. Brasten had a good eye for talent. Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
You know, and you could tell local Pirates, the players that were going to Pirates and all of that. He had a very good eye for talent. Now, I don't know, between him and whoever would have advised Brasten to say, Eish, you know, can you just look at the scouting? What are we getting into the club? You know, and probably he would be a very valuable asset to Sundowns as well. You know, because then they wanted to make him a technical director, something of which probably did not want. You remember the players that Ted had at Sundowns did not change. Ted did not bring anyone. You know, he never brought players to Sundowns to say, he took the same team, you know, and used the same team. I think the only difference is that he then released Bennett Masinga, which was very, you know, and we had the same players. You know, this is one team at some stage. I was telling somebody, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I said, this is the one team where I said, and I'm on the field and we have possession of the ball. And I felt like clapping hands. You know, but inside I was saying, sure, these guys can play. You know, to us the ball will come maybe as an exit, you know, because there's pressure there and whatever. But when these guys are playing and they're sharing the ball, you say, wow.
So is that what? Because there's a lot of talk now, shoeshine and piano. Sundowns as they move from that style. Would you say you guys were playing that style, and what is it keying into it?
The shoeshine and piano was more the thing, Brasten. You know, it started with Brasten, you know. But I think then Ted brought in a different dimension, you know, where shoeshine and piano Sundowns were like keeping possession for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Ours was keeping possession but going to score
Going to score, yeah.
as well. You
Yeah.
know, most of the time the focus was on going forward.
Mm,
You know, you would hardly see us as defenders or centre backs
mm,
on the ball.
mm,
You know, it's mostly the wing backs and
mm,
the midfielders who are involved. Rona, we were just this tool to say, oh, okay, how do we come out? Let us get out of this situation. Help us, you know, supply there. You know. So, but obviously people are used to this thing of saying shoeshine and piano
Yeah.
and whatever. So it just continued.
But it doesn't sound like such a complicated concept like some people. It's basically playing with the ball, keeping the ball, having possession.
It's football.
Yeah.
It's basically football. You know, a lot of people will tell you that they no, you're wasting time and all of this, and you know, we need to kick the ball forward and get it forward and all of these things. It's difficult to coach that thing. I don't know if you understand it.
I totally get it.
Yeah, it's difficult to coach this thing
Yeah.
because to get players to be comfortable on the ball and
Yeah.
to be able to understand what they are doing, because it also goes with understanding
Yeah.
what is the purpose of us doing this.
Because it doesn't help you keep a ball of hair.
Yeah.
I'll not direction. You don't know what's here.
And you also need to be creative. Because if you're going to go and try and do this thing and you rely on Googling exercises, you won't get it right.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from Google. It comes from observation, you know. Look, see, be creative, come up with things that can help improve, you know, that style of play. Otherwise, if we're playing a shortcut,
And then from there, that was your last team, Sundowns, as a player.
It was my last team, you know, officially, because there was a spell when Paul Doleza came in.
Yes.
And Paul Doleza, when he came in, I was very. I listened to the men coaching, and immediately I said,
That's your.
Nah, that's my nature.
Yeah.
If you're going to coach me, there must be things that you explain to me, because you are taking care of my brand. You know, Dan Malesela's brand. And if you're going to take care of my brand, I need to know who you are, what you're doing, and what you are doing is important to me. You know, if you're going to make me run every time and ignore the ball, you are messing with my brand. You know, because I came here to play football, not to run. You know, and that's how honest I will be. You know, and the very first thing I saw is that we had a a recovery session where we were running like hell.
Yeah.
And I asked the man, I said, tell me, why are we running like this? Because we just come from a match. He says, no, you don't know the recovery. I said to him, no, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and I told Natasha that there's no continuity here, because, you know, when Ted left, I thought you're bringing in somebody who will continue with the job
what
that
Ted was doing.
And now for me, the reason that this man did not win the league in 2 seasons, it tells you a lot. You know, at Kaizer Chiefs, when they had a very good squad, you know, yes, winning cups is something else. It's also good, but the ultimate, obviously, is the league. You know, so I said, I don't think we have a good coach, good enough for Sundowns. Maybe for other clubs, but for Sundowns, you know, if you want to continue with the legacy that has been built here, I don't think it will. And then we started getting, because he knew, and he said no. He said he wanted to release me, you know, because I'm old and he's got young centre backs. But Natasha refused, and Natasha said, "How come this man was playing every match just last season, and all of a sudden this season He's not. So he's not going anywhere, you know. And obviously the man wanted to try and frustrate me. At some stage, he played me as a midfielder. We were playing go Eastern Cape. And
Which Bucks?
we're playing Mtata Bucks.
Yeah.
And yes, there was a problem with midfielders,
Yeah.
but there are people who could play in the middle, you know, and whatever. I sit at the back. And he said, no, can you play center mid? And I knew that if I say no, he's going to say, no, then this man is.
Doesn't take
And I said, no, I can. He said, no, today we're going to play you. I don't want you to do too much and what. I just want you to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Receive pass. Don't try and do anything. And I did more than what he expected, you know. And unfortunately, towards the end of the match, this man trampled on my ankle and I twisted it a bit. And then they had to take me off. I think it was about 7 minutes or so left in the match. And they had to take me out. But I could tell it's not a serious injury.
Yeah.
You know. So ice and what, you know. And then the following day when we went to training, the first thing he asked me is that, how's ankle? And I said, no, my ankle is fine.
Yeah.
Say, sure. Ankle is all right? I said, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. No pain? I said, it's fine. I said, no.
Yeah.
We take no risk. We take no risks. This is what he's been waiting for.
Since I MC chance fell over, he said.
Yeah. So then I actually said to Natasha, "Hey, man, please, if you can loan me."
Yeah.
You know, because John Latham wanted me at Wits, you know, just to help the team and all of that, because he wanted us to play from the back and all of that. And then I went to Wits, you know, for a season. And then that was that. And when I went back to Sundowns, I decided, let me stop.
And then when you retire from playing, what do you do immediately after that? Because it then takes a while before people then start seeing you as a professional coach.
And you know, surprisingly, I had somebody I grew under at home who was working at the School of Excellence, and Kevin Johnson was leaving the school.
Yes.
So they will be short of one coach, you know. And this man recommended me to the coach, to the coaches at school. The head then was Sambat,
Yes.
you know, and he said, and he came to me and he said, how do you feel, you know, about coaching, you know, learn and what, you know. And I couldn't have gone to the right place, you know. This was just the perfect place for me.
Yeah.
You know, and the good thing, the best thing that happened at the School of Excellence is that Coach Sam just told me that you have to trouble yourself to learn. You know, learn on your own. Be creative. Look at the things that you can do to contribute to these kids. And the very first thing is that you have to have an eye for talent. And I already had this education about talent identification because then at that time I had already brought a lot of players to Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, even those who were in the juniors, and the people wanted to wait, and I said no. Ronnie Zondi, Bruce,
Yes.
Bruce Ramokadi, Bariki Mang Donald, Mandla, Kana Mandla Kimang Zwani. Mandla, Bo Lawrence I brought, you know, Bo Brian Matt I took to Pirates, Bo Harikimang, these guys. Okay, it's fine.
So but you
quite a
already
lot.
had this ability to spot.
Yes, I
quality,
already had that, to spot quality. You know.
So then you moved to Transnet School of Excellence, eh?
Yeah.
So let's just touch on the school, because I mean, how important is that institution? Because at some point it looked like Iwilenyana, but I see now they're picking up. I mean, you can see Borele, dancing, all their youngsters.
At that time, it was good.
Yeah. How important is an institution like that for football?
Ooh, very valuable.
Mm,
You know, whoever came up with the concept of the school
mm,
was just a genius.
mm.
You know, and well, I'm told that it was the baby, yeah, Ted,
At head,
you know.
yes.
But he also got coaches who were also good, you know, within these things. But you know, the unfortunate thing is that in our country, we have developed this thing where we see when there's a good thing,
Mm,
we really don't see it,
mm,
you know. And sometimes people see it as a waste of money.
mm.
You know, and when you invest, you don't always look for profit,
Mm,
but you always look. Sometimes you must look at the benefits for other people. Remember, sometimes we are put in leadership positions, or maybe you are sitting in a position where you are given money.
yeah,
I wouldn't say wealth, maybe riches.
yeah, yeah.
And it then means that you are responsible to empowering other people.
Mm.
I don't think you'll be given money so that you must just chow it alone.
They only one, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a lot of money, it's like, here is money,
Mm,
go and share it with other people, you know,
Mm.
wisely so. So the challenge, the biggest challenge of it is that the vision of the school
Mm.
was only within certain people.
Mm.
Others were not interested. You know, where I saw that, you know, we are going to fail with the school is when, first of all, we went to the Milk Cup
Yeah, Island.
in Ireland.
Yeah.
Ne? We get to the Milk Cup, and 3 of our players are taken up by Chelsea, you know. And I realized there is no comment, there is no interest, you know, there's nothing. And at some stage, some of the players are taken by Sundowns,
Mm.
you know, Bosiponunense,
Yeah, yeah.
thereafter, Jabu Shongwe,
Yes,
Butlem Kwanazi,
yes.
and all of that, you know, your Kigen Dolly
Yeah,
and all of that. But nobody notices,
Mm, mm,
you know, that these kids are coming from an institution. Some of these kids end up playing overseas,
mm,
you know, Bokigen,
mm,
but nobody notices,
mm.
you know. I go with a group of players to Chile
Mhm.
for the World
Schools-
Schools and
Schools World Cup. Yeah.
World Cup.
By the way, le rona ke dlala koro sena, re jele ke lona that year, 2006. Go Kagiso, I hope game it.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we go to this thing, and when we get there, okay, we lost in the final
Yes.
against Germany,
Yeah.
but we collected almost every single trophy that was on offer. You know, in the tournament. You know, player of the tournament, this and this and that, coach of the tournament, that, you know. And when we come back, you must understand, we go to Chile. The school does not even have a phone. You know, people are using my phone to phone me. When you phone me, it costs me 39 rand a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, no, I'm stopping communication with the school. You know, I'll only send them a message to say we won. You know, just when we hit, immediately when we hit the final, now that's when we are getting communication, you know, and all of that. And what was more painful was that we played the MTN here, MTN finals,
Yes.
but we don't have a phone.
Una MTN Cup on grateful.
MTN Cup, that's
Yeah.
MTN,
Yeah.
but we don't have a phone. And that was very funny for me, you know. And that's when I realized, the school. Now, worst of it all, we come back from the tournament. And then I'm told, no, there'll be a press conference when you get to the airport. We get to the press conference, and when we are at the airport, I'm told, no, we are going to sit down and discuss what we are going to do, because the coach obviously has done very well with his team, and we now don't have an under-17 coach, and we are going to put him as the under-17 coach. Okay. And then I'm told to do some scouting thereafter, just thereafter. I'm going to do some scouting, go Coca-Cola under-17 tournament in Rustenburg. Oh, you are the head of the group, Ispana Lebu Brakeni, the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we go there. And, we are working, days go by. Towards the end of the tournament, I get a call from SAF that says, no, this man has been appointed as the under-17 coach, so please accommodate him, he's coming there. Don't worry, help him out and what. First of all, we have already elected the squad during the week.
Yeah.
How are you going to know what's happening when you come so late? And then as we are sitting there, ladies and gentlemen, the new under-17 coach is here. Let's welcome him, Mr. Dr. Kumalo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And by that, let's panel select the team.
Yeah.
Everything.
And, these things are dangerous, because when you can start looking at this person, funny, but yet it's not his fault.
I see, yeah. He got a job. He took
he got a job.
Yeah.
How can he refuse if he's given a job? But obviously, I think I'm wiser than that, for me to get angry over these things. But it's disappointing that SAFA says this and then they change and then they say something else, and but it's fine. We grow to understand.
But what is the model? Because let's just take that group you mentioned, ne? That group
Yeah.
Let's say, just looking at the type of players the school always produces, highly technical players. Nelu Matlatsi Makuduela, then Jafefi, Jabulan Shongwe, Mkhwanazi. What is it? What is the model? How does the school get to produce those type of players?
First of all, it's from the identification again.
Okay, or one from the beginning, or
from the beginning. This one is for the school and whatever. I think, and fortunately, we how we would select players. We would have, say, maybe on one field, we cut the field. We'll have 3 groups trialing. But because we want them to have a touch of the ball,
yes,
we reduce the numbers, and not have too many in those 3 groups. And then we have them play 3 parts. So we spend 10 minutes with this group. We swap coaches, And then I watch, we write names, and then we compare. And we found out most of the time we have the same players, And most of the time we were right. We were correct. Some players that people complain, hey, my son was doing this. How parents are sometimes. There's no way that he'll miss a goal. Mopela dipala fela if he's trying and whatever. But ngwana scored 3 goals but family. And you just say, mama, it's those were just given, So, and our policy was very strict. in that we said if a player is not performing on because the biggest reason why you'd be at the school, the biggest reason is for you to play football.
Yes.
Yes, education is important, but we put priority on football. And I'll tell you why we put priority on football. We understood first, Linda, I was made to understand, to say, look, much as we worry about education and whatever and whatever, but history has taught us that a lot of our kids have got football brains,
Yes.
but little in the class. That's why we need to push the football side. This is just to give them a base of where they are going, maybe when they're interviewed and all these things, they need to know how to handle themselves and all of that. But the biggest one is the talent. So we were very strict on the talent, in saying, if a player cannot perform in football, then he has to be released from the school, Yeah, education is something else. We can always compensate somewhere and find a school that will help this child if he's struggling, education, And I came to realize as well, hey, nalbafana ba bantši, hey, dinomoro di a fatla, so that is also a fact that helped, but also the fact that as we had generations and generations, these kids, Baba Kotlas, they will have role models within the school. They knew those who came. Maybe let's start ka group yabu Siponunens.
Yeah.
The youngest ones, they knew the standards are very high.
Yeah.
If I have to do something, I have to live up to that group. Group yabu Siponunens, Daint Late and all of that.
Yeah, Bernard Parker, I think.
Yeah. So they had to live up to that group, and the next one, and the next team, and the next team. So every time, and because all of these teams were winning something each and every year, everybody had to aspire to do that. But the other thing is the training at the school. How do you train players? That was important. I remember when I came to school, when you come from football and you meet these guys, Coach Sam and whatever. And I said to myself, I did exercise.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be something good. And my very first assignment was to get the players to be fit, match fit, football fit. And the guy and I don't know, because I didn't like running, what got into my head that day.
Yeah.
And then I took these boys for a cross-country kind of a run. And we have all these fields like Skolo.
Yeah.
Coach Sam was there, And when he looked on the field, he realized that the players are not there.
Yeah.
Now I'm behind the players, running them.
Yeah.
Come on, boys, let's go. Hey, as we went and we came back to the field, to just take a break and what? Here came the man. When's the coach, man? When's the man?
Yeah.
No, just the fitness of these people are fit, man.
Yeah. Ready, what's up? Yeah.
I just said, I'm looking for both.
Yeah.
It's a big blunder. Because the kids are naturally fit. Under 13.
Yeah.
They will run the whole day and not stop.
You just need to work on
so why do you
technique and those
make
things.
them? Give these boys the ball, man.
Yeah.
Find something. I'm not gonna tell you again, coach. Be creative. And that's when the creativity started.
Yeah.
And I sit in the office and I think, what can I do with young boys? What can I do for them? Hey, okay. If it's going to be endurance training, it has to be with the ball, but also it will add another element. So I must do this. Then I start designing. Okay, then this is wrong. This is, and then I started having this thing of saying, when I'm doing this, is it going to happen? Is it possible to happen in a match? For players to be this, because I'm not gonna do an exercise where I'm doing it for the sake of doing it. I also take the match into my head and say, go matching. This thing, when will it happen? And once I realize it cannot happen in a match, scratch. I throw the page away. Then I try and find another way of doing things, and say, okay, right back, most of the time he'll be here and then sometimes he'll be there. So what can I train him? Okay, let me train him to pass, through the middle. Let me train. Okay, I don't want to pass him down the line too much, but he can go over the top sometimes, and all of
So
that.
you train the players
So yeah,
to know how to find solutions on the field.
exactly.
Yes.
So even if it's a technical exercise, it
Yes.
has to have a tactical element in it, or a match element in it, and that's how I started creating these things. I don't know how many of these things I've created. Sometimes I even forget the good ones. My biggest problem is that I don't like recording things, because I don't want to channel myself to say, I did this exercise in 2008, and then I want to go back to it because it will help me. No, I always want to challenge.
Because football evolves as well.
Yes, I always want to challenge myself to say, what can I do? What is it? What is new? And that's why some people always say, he comes up with exercises that those who criticize, obviously I'll be criticized. He comes up with these exercises. At this pan. And when we get to the match and they realize, there goes the players now. That's when people start realizing, that's why we were doing that thing, So I'm that type of a person, who does these things, and even players sometimes they get surprised. I've never done this thing before in my life. How come? When you have those experienced players, but they understand, and I want them to understand. Why are you doing this? Why are you training? And I also prefer players who will also question me as to why are we doing this, so that they have a clearer picture.
Everything in the purpose. Just
Than the exercise where you will come and players will start making a noise and all of that. Sometimes we would do you see people doing exercise.
What is the purpose?
When is this thing going to happen in football? And
but then let's get into the. I mean, we've discussed your journey as a youth coach. Go Transnet, and I think a lot of people will learn a lot from the model and all of that. But how do you then, when you make the transition to the professional ranks as a coach, what influences that decision? Do you just reach a point where you feel like, okay, I need to take the next step, or what is the thought process there?
Yeah, I get it. As you're coaching, you start looking at saying, but where do I want to be? Do I want to be a lifetime development coach or anything else? But also, the surroundings at the school, because a lot of people don't know that I was working as a temp kind of apprentice for 7 years at the school, and it was getting to me, and when I looked at clubs in terms of the structures for development, I realized, no, not too many clubs have got good, setups for development, and mostly the focus is on the senior teams, and it's not on that. And I said, if I go there, will the players be taken? That was my biggest worry, And when I look at clubs that can offer, they keep on buying players, and I said, I don't want to go into a situation where it will just be a futile exercise, training and trying to develop players, and when they're not going to make the senior team, So eventually I said I would rather then work towards coaching, a club on my own and see, And what really encouraged me was to say, if I can be as productive, then why not? And I also realized that here I am, I'm coaching these kids, and we play with some of the big clubs,
Yes.
And we give them hell, and I said, no, let me go into this sort of individual coaching and all of that. And that's how the journey started.
And how do you get Kinky United or your first coaching gig in the professional ranks? NFD, I think it was.
No, it was not Garankuwa United. It was Winners Park.
Was it Winners Park? Okay.
Yes, it was Winners Park. I went to Winners Park and now I don't know why I attract these clubs that will have problems every time.
Yeah.
Or that will just give you problems. We have a great setup, and they say, no, you have good coaching skills and all of these things, but we will do the lineup for you. And that will not happen. Yeah, that will not happen. From the directors, I said, that will not happen. So, and then I decided, let me go back to development.
Okay.
Then I go back to Sundowns. When I'm at Sundowns, we recruit these good players. We built this beautiful team. It wins Bo, Bariking, Bay Hill, and all of that. Yes. Kigen. Yeah, yeah, we built this beautiful team. All of those players played professional football at a certain point, And then after that, when we come back, we then we are being shipped to Potchefstroom, And when we get to Potchefstroom, then I must start a group of under-17s, and I couldn't understand. I said, no, I have built this team, and I'm growing as a coach. Now you are taking me back. That will not happen. But also, there's a situation. I was traveling from Gezina to home because we were training at Gezina. Now I must stay in Potchefstroom, and then there is no adjustment to my salary. It's an extra expense.
Yeah. No, you must 2 households basically.
Yes, now I must and there's no adjustment, and they tell me it's a take it or leave it situation. This is unfair. It's very unfair, and that's how I decided to leave, and then I went to Harangu. And this beautiful team that I had built was leading with points.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was leading with points. And guess what happens? My very first game when I get to Garankuwa United is against Alspaktawan.
Yeah.
And we won that match.
Yeah.
1-0.
Kiko Vodacom that time. This is Vodacom or what?
It was Vodacom.
Vodacom League.
It was Vodacom League, yes. And we win this match. And ultimately we go on to win the league, with Garankuwa United. And the playoffs obviously become something else. I've never seen things like that in my life. But we continue with Garankuwa United, and and for some funny reason, the bad thing that happened, that team now died. That one year go Alspaktawan, and all those colorful boys gone. You know. So, but that's how my journey started, you
Yeah.
know, and Garankuwa United, and we go on with this team to play Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank
Yeah.
semi-final. Wow. Second half, I think first half, these kids were just scared. But then, and you can tell, you know, I was laughing. And then I go F&B, come change room. And you can see people start looking at us.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going to have a very bad start.
Yeah.
You know, and you try to motivate. You know, in the second half there, I changed bunch of people. You know, yeah. But that's how my journey started. Yeah.
Then you also coach Cape Town All Stars, ne?
Cape Town All Stars, yes.
So just to summarize your time in the lower leagues at the time, how did you find it as a coach? What were some of the challenges about coaching in the lower leagues?
Very, very challenging, you know. And you know, I don't think, you know, because when I speak up on trying to improve the football at home. And sometimes people take these things and they look at you as being as this critic or somebody who's very toxic. You know. Teams are not well taken care of most of the time.
Yeah.
You know. One thing I will say was a difference for Garankuwa United. We had this very beautiful person, you know, Bargidinki.
Yeah.
You know, that guy knew how to take care of a football club.
Yeah.
Very professional. You are not short of anything. You know. And then you change, you go to other clubs, and you find that there's a whole lot of things. A simple thing like water, good training becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, some clubs, you go to training and then le shota the soccer ball, but you say it's a football club,
and those are basics.
It's very basic, very basic, you know, and it becomes very painful. And I unfortunately had to endure a lot of these things in many clubs where you actually struggle with, you know, basic resources, you know. But also then there must be other things that you need to get or you need to have in terms of a football club, and you don't get, you know. The other challenge that I always have or I always had was to say, maybe it's my nature, I'm too accommodative.
Yeah.
And I accommodate people that I don't even know.
Yeah.
I go to a club, I've never really traveled with my people, you know, to a particular club and say, I'm bringing this group. I have people that I know are very knowledgeable and all these things. But I did not have this luck or whatever, being fortunate to say, I'm bringing my assistant and my first assistant and second assistant and goalkeeper coach and physical trainer and all of these things. Somewhere along the line, I'll have one person that I bring with, or not at all, because I always believe in giving other people a chance. You know. So it has always worked against me.
Yeah.
You know. Because the unfortunate part is that you know, a lot of people in football do not have interest in the game and the improvement of a club and the growth of the players as well. People are looking at their own interests, you know, to say, so long as I'm in the job, you know, then I'm fine. And half the time you find out that those are the people who always run to the club chairman. I don't know about that club chairman. It's, I don't know, when do they learn that, you know, if you open doors to a whole lot of people, they're going to make you mess up.
Yeah.
You know, you should be able to talk to people that can grow. For instance, in football, you will have people, they do not say, here is a challenge that we have. And this is how I think we can go around it. They go to say, "Eish, coach does not listen when we tell him this and that." And half the time it's lies. You know, it's just like you come to me. Every time you come to me, you are my friend or my neighbor. And you come to me, instead of telling me about my friend, how about fix that door, fix that door, because when we go through it, then it might tear somebody else's trouser or dress, you know. Instead, you come to me and you want to gossip about what my children are doing, you know. So you don't advise me. You hardly ever advise me. And that's how football people are. You know, a lot of football people are. They do not advise. They do not think. They want to be attached to the chairman. And sometimes you find that there are these people who are staying long in clubs. And you ask yourself, why is this person long in clubs? You know, other people can be released, but this one is staying. As because he's a bad influence. You know, he's probably what people will call the eyes of the club. You know, anything that you speak about there and there and there and there, it is gone to the office. You know, and then now, you know, I always tell people, I said, gentlemen, when I speak, and even when I speak about the chairman, I am not gossiping. You can tell him, and I will tell him exactly what you said. But one thing I don't like is when you go to him and you lie. That's when we have a challenge. You know. So this has just been my journey and the challenges of my journey in football.
And then your Chippa United was your first role go PSL as a coach.
Yes.
So and I mean, you've had various stints. So I think instead of taking each stint, I think let's just talk about Chippa as a. So firstly, let's start with the positives. How do you first get the Chippa job? And I know your first stint there was very successful. Your team did well, played good football at some point.
Yeah.
So take us through that experience, joining Chippa, and that initial experience where you now started to become known for playing this good football and the team was doing well.
Yeah, I was at Cape Town All Stars, and I think Chippa tricked Ulunga, you know, because we were second on the log, you know, against the same Baroka. Baroka was on top.
Yes.
You know, and I think there was a difference of 1 point. And then we went to Baroka and we lost 3-2. And when we came back, I think he discussed with Chippa. Chippa said, fire him.
Yeah.
And he wanted me
he
to come.
He wanted you to come.
You know, and I think that's how it happened. You know, and I get to Chippa and I realize we've got players, but I bring in other players. You know, I bring in, I think I brought some of the players who were at Ntwengilapo Paseka Mako, Kolamlambo, you know, several players, you know, just to complement the squad. But they also had good players.
Yeah.
And we work with this team and it just becomes this beautiful team. Come the end of the season, we lose about 8 players. We lose 8 players, 8 starting players.
And they get sold. Do they get sold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get sold and now we don't have those players anymore. And then we must start afresh. And, you know, to get quality players is not easy.
Yeah.
You know, the same quality. You know. And then come the following season, and then we play, then they release me, then they call me back to come and save the club, you know. We survive. I stay at the clubs. More players leave the clubs.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always going to be a struggle. you know. But to be honest as well, people don't understand. To manage players in these remote areas, you know, when I say remote, I mean there is this single club, you know, within maybe the province or that area,
Yeah.
becomes so difficult because they become popular with everybody.
Yes.
You know, and they are offered things, you know, this and that, parties and all these things. And, you know, I had to make trips at night, you know, checking all the nightclubs and all of that, you know, whether players are there. Sometimes I would go into this nightclub and you'll just see movement all over,
Yeah.
you know. And that's one part of the management that you have to do as a coach. But and it impacts on the results very much, you know. So the challenges at Chippa were just plenty, plenty, you know. And sometimes you had to do things yourself and forget about other things, you know. If there's something that needed to be bought, you'll have to buy it and say, no, I'll go and claim,
I'll claim it from the team.
you know.
Sure.
Yeah. But some of the things were very necessary to have, you know. There were urgent cases where you needed to have this thing now, because if you don't have it now, then you may have challenges or players will get upset. You know, so it was a very big challenge.
Yeah.
Very big challenge. And you know, the reason I kept going back was that I always had this thinking in me that things will be better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so every time you would go, then they would release you. When they call you back, you just kept feeling like, "I man, this time it won't be like the last
It
time."
won't be like the last time. Maybe people have learned and all of that, but now I have realized that
Yeah.
it's
And do you think, because a lot of us as soccer fans, we've been, it upset us a lot because we saw it as like a very toxic relationship that you'd have,
yeah.
you know, with Chippa particularly. You'd keep going back and then they'll release you again, and we felt it was unfair. And it's something it's not unique to you. We see it a lot with, you know, with clubs. Sometimes it's treatment that we feel maybe it's disrespectful towards coaches, especially local coaches. Is that how you see it as well?
Now for me it's more like the understanding of football, because I always think that that's why I kept going back. I always have this feeling that, hey, you'll understand football better. That's why. And when you look at these other clubs, for instance now, Kaizer Chiefs, unfortunately this man went, but they gave him the whole season.
Yes.
Nabi,
Yes.
you know, and he won 8 matches, if I'm not wrong, in a season. But they kept him. And the reason is that they have the faith that, you know, he will turn the
They're
corner,
building,
you know,
yes,
and
yes.
they're building, you know, they're building a team. Unfortunately, things happened and all of these things, but you learn from all these clubs. There were situations where your Pirates were struggling big time and all these things, but they keep their coaches because there's always this thing that, hey, this man is building, because you understand what is happening now. You know, when you are at Chippa, and you must remember the only time that Chippa, I don't know if last season they didn't make the top 8, did they?
Yeah. I don't think they made the top 8 last season.
Yeah, I think the only time they made the top 8 was the first season that I had with them. You know, and if you are running an institution, then you start learning from that and say, but what really happened in that season where we qualified for the top 8?
Yeah.
You know, what were the reasons? Why did we get there? And obviously a part of it is because you had resources in terms of players,
Yes.
which is the first thing you must have.
Yes.
You know, and the running of the club was much better. And come the following season, you don't have the same players, and you still expect the same results and performances, which is going to be impossible. So that's the unfortunate part about Chippa, and it's an environment where a lot of people can come up and become and make this team a very good team, because there's good training fields, good stadiums they have in the Eastern Cape. But if we look at the running of the team, because this thing of focusing on coaches every time, and you do not focus on what you are doing as a person, is not going to help you, because a lot of us are going to be the downfall of our own teams, because we make mistakes, and we don't look at ourselves. And I think the day maybe Chippa starts looking at himself and saying, but where am I going wrong? What am I doing wrong? And find people that will advise him well as well. And that way the team will progress.
And what would you say to people? Because the other way of looking at it, some people say, well, a PSL status now is, I think, almost 60 million minimum, probably. And they're saying
40-something
40-something to 60.
Yes.
Those who say, well, but it's a business. And if it's 7 games in and I'm panicking, you've got to relegate, you are, coming back is tough. So I have to make changes.
It doesn't matter how many coaches you can change.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many coaches you change. So long as your structure is not okay, things will remain the same. It's the same as saying, here I'm investing 47 million, but how am I going to empower this 47 million? Through my club. How am I going to make it work for me?
Yeah.
Because you cannot just say, hey guys, I've bought a status. Do not just take care of the business.
Yeah.
You need to back that 47 million. And that's why Brake said, sometimes I said, don't win and buy a club and then think that the club, you must have backup. Football is expensive. You must have a backing. You can imagine, I've went through my career. I'm going through my career of coaching, where I've never experienced this thing that is called buying a player.
Yeah.
This player is free because, and I have people who are my connections and they tell me, hey, Mona, there's this player who is free, there's that player, and then I quickly grab this one because it's available, grab that one, and hence one has been surviving, with teams and all these things. But I can imagine where a budget is put on the table, they say, no, coach, here is money. Buy who you want.
It's a privilege that
I've never had.
Yeah. And then I've always been curious, or if we just take the cheap example, right? Where they keep releasing you, and do you usually get paid out in those situations? Or do they sort of have clauses in the contract that maybe protects them? How does it?
A lot of the times, we sometimes we come to an agreement. How do we settle?
Okay.
Because now I don't like getting into situations where me and football people fight. But I want us to part ways in a very peaceful way, so that tomorrow we may need each other. So half the time we agree on settlements and all of these things. Sometimes it's a situation where you say, no, I settle the whole contract.
The whole contract, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that's Chippa United. Then another team you've coached, TX Galaxy.
Yes.
So let's talk about the first stint Go Galaxy. Firstly, let's talk about the structure that Team Sokazi had built. I mean, we've seen the kind of players, it's still continuing, the kind of players that that team is producing and selling. And What was it about that structure that was so conducive to be able to produce or to discover and improve such good players?
I think it's the kind of players that we had at the club.
Mhm.
Remember when we started, there was quite a number of players. There were players that were being fused from um, the old TS Galaxy, and there were other players coming from all over, and all these things. I think when I got to the club, we had about 40-something players
Sure.
that we had to break down. But within the 49, we were fortunate that a lot of them were very good. Very, very good players. And still itching to impress and all of that. And that's why we had the season we had, with winning the trophy and all of that. And I'm going to be honest, very honest with Tis Galaxy. And at some stage I told him I'm tired of these players, because a lot of players after the net, they lost it.
After winning the Nedbank Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just lost it.
Mm.
And that was when the team started getting shaky and all of that, because the behavior of the players was just bad. And no matter how much you try to control it, there's this thing, man. I don't know how people, and I believe, and I'm told that a lot of players from Ajax were using this thing called snus.
Snooze. Yeah. My rata blind. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now I've come through my study of this thing, because I looked at it from a point of players' behavior. When I looked at it, I realized snooze say it depends on you as a person.
Yeah.
I think when you have it as a person, it makes them hyper and what. But when the effects of that snooze go down, then you become sort of irritable.
Yeah.
What? And it depends on your nature.
Yeah.
If you are this person who is slow, it makes you even slower. If you are this person who is hyper, then that's when you become more irritable, when this thing, when the effects of this thing go down. And how dangerous it is to players, people don't realize. And it has been left. It has been left to go on. Now, the problem is that it doesn't appear as a drug that is banned in a banned substance in football, but it's affecting these players negatively. And sometimes, so many times, I've spoken to either physios or doctors and say, "Hey, man, we need to look into this thing." But the control of it, how do you control it? Because they take it even when you are not with them.
And how was that conversation? Because Tim Zugazi was your agent at the time. So how did that conversation come about that you're now becoming his coach after having been his client for so long?
It's very easy, that was quick, man. Quick. In actual fact, we went into issues of compensations and all of that, and that's it.
That was it, yeah.
Draw up a contract, and the contract, it's probably my contract was not like everybody else, because me and Tim had become sort of brother and
Very
brother,
close, yes.
very close, so it was very easy. The only thing that got to me was the exit, from the team, because I didn't expect that after 8 matches, then I would be released at the team, and we were still in a good position, and whatever. But
could you tell me about your second exit? Because the first one,
That one I resigned.
okay, the first time you resigned
I
after
resigned,
the Nedbank
yes.
Cup
Yes,
success.
I resigned, yes.
Also, you're talking about the second time
The
when
second time.
in the
yeah.
PSL when the team
Yes,
let
in
you
the
go.
PSL, yes. And understanding that we were also fusing two teams because it was Swallows and then
Yes.
not Swallows, Highlands Park.
After they bought Highlands.
Highlands Park and
Yeah.
the TS Galaxy. So yeah, that one was just it hit me somehow. It shocked me.
Did you feel like you should have been given, like you say, it was 8 games into the season? Do you feel like you should have been given more time?
I felt like that. I felt like that because I think at that time we were beginning to find our feet.
And I mean, if you look at the kind of structure that Tim Zogazi has built, it's a very good structure. Do you think where do you think you could have taken the team long term if you were given like a project and time to just build it?
Well, my ambition every time has always been to win the league, and not once, and that's what I was gunning for. But depending on what the club would allow me to do or to have, then we probably would achieve that because the key thing is with apart from clubs that can afford, with us, the clubs that will be selling every time, I needed to design a structure that will be able to help us sustain the performances, irrespective of the sale of the players.
Because every season,
then it becomes the same thing. It's the same cycle, and unfortunately, you may say whatever you are saying, and somebody was saying, but yeah, Stellenbosch is selling clubs and is selling players, but it is not. And I said, it may catch up with them one day.
They're struggling now, yeah.
It may, and I wish they get out of this situation, so that because they have a good coach, they have a good club, good setup. But at some stages, you need to have an ambition. I can't be in the league because I want to be in the PSL, and I don't have an ambition to win the league.
What's the point?
What's the point of participating in the league every year in, year out? So my ambition there was to say, hey, if I'm staying here for long, eventually let's win the league.
And then final thing on the TS Galaxy chapter, you're winning the Nedbank Cup as an NFD team.
Yeah.
Take us through that, and how did that feel?
It felt great. The greatest thing, that I've ever felt, as a coach. But for me, at that time, thereafter, then I just said, it's not the ultimate. More has to come. Something better has to happen. Let's see whether this club. Unfortunately, a team had then decided that he will buy, and we'll see.
And when you beat Chiefs in the final, when you're going into that game, how did you fancy your chances against a big team like Kaizer Chiefs?
The good thing is that we did not even discuss Chiefs too much. We discussed ourselves. And we discussed, we actually were looking ahead of things. We discussed TS Galaxy winning, We discussed the history that we would have made. We discussed the happiness of after the match, what is going to happen and what is not going to happen. We discussed the growth of the players, their exposure, through this match. We discussed participation in the Confederations Cup. Not much was based on Chiefs.
About Chiefs, yeah.
No, we did not, but we discussed issues like, because I had been in this situation before where players will freeze in the semi-final. We discussed issues of fear, the dominance of Kaizer Chiefs in terms of supporters and what. Fortunately, there's a situation that happened for us before the match You know, we were staying what is this hotel? At the beachfront. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Durban.
Durban, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, the day of the match, wake up in the morning, and when I woke up in the morning, I went to the window, opened the window, just looked outside. And when I looked outside, I just saw people in red. You know, some of them were taking a shower at the beach,
Yeah.
showers at the beach. And I decided to assemble the players quickly.
Mm.
And I assembled the players and I said, just have a look.
Mm.
These people, yeah, it's a bit cold in the morning, coldish in the morning. And these people are just here to support you. Some of them, you can tell, or they didn't sleep in rooms. They slept in the bus.
Just all support.
Just to support you. And what do we do for them?
Yeah. Sure.
And then I just
Powerful.
closed it at that.
Yeah. And then that team, I mean, you can help me, but Nduli was there.
Yes.
Terence.
Yes.
Lepasa.
Yes.
Who am I missing?
Sizwe
Mdlinzo.
Nation and Ndlovu was
Obas.
there. Obas was there.
Yeah.
Batusi is.
Yeah. So we just look at like the few that have like gone on to really big things, like Batusi, national team player, Sundowns, Sihle. Did you always see the potential in some of these boys, that these boys can go all the way?
Yes. And unfortunately, maybe some we did not agree at some stages with Tim, you know, but obviously you cannot agree on everything.
On everything, yeah.
Yes. I always saw a lot of potential in Sihle.
Sihle and Nduli.
Yeah. A lot, you know, and I always told him, I said, you know, the day you decide to come out of your shell, because I think you're underestimating yourself too much. But the day you decide to come out of that, then you will be a great player. You know.
What's the difference as players? What is the difference between Obas and Sihle?
The difference is that I think Obas is much more of a grafter, you know, getting aggressive and
winning the ball.
And I think this thing comes from the fact that he played more as a center back most of the time than playing as a midfielder. Sihle is much more easy and very calculative, you know, in doing things, you know. He matures every time. But Obas, you need to put him here to do your dirty work. But find somebody here, who he will just supply and let him play. You know. But you cannot, you know, make him this player that will be creative and all these things. He'll make a lot of technical errors.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, coach. And then the other team, and I think we'll be very brief because Royal AM, what happened there? I think you're not happy with the coaches.
Yeah. And the working environment, man, and some of the setups at the club, I felt near, man. This is not where I need to be. And you know, I did not leave because there was anything against this the club, but I just felt it's not an environment that will benefit me. You know, I just didn't feel okay.
And what challenges did you find with working with I think it was 2 or 3 coaches?
Yes. I mean, the planning of the training sessions and all of these things, you know, and you know how we set up for the league matches and the games, you know, agreements on lineups and all these things. It becomes a difficult thing, you know, because maybe sometimes you have this vision that you have had, and the other coach sees it different, and I felt this is not going to
It's not
work.
going to work. Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And then let's discuss Marumo Gallants. I mean, you built the team up. At some point, you had a very good team because you ended up having King Miguel. You brought them back. Bo Ndlondlo, Tsepo Gumede started looking very good again. Just take us through that and building the team to a point where I think you reached the Nedbank Cup final, lost in extra time to Sundowns.
Yeah. If there's one club that was very stressful to me, it should be that one.
Gallants, yeah.
Yeah. Kana ba reng ka Setswana ke? Ke thola, and I probably will end up there,
Yeah.
if you understand. Ke
Yeah.
thola,
Yeah.
boreledi, and then teng ha yona ho ba bathata. That's how that team is. That's how I can describe.
Explain that.
It's more unfair.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Mm.
Looks good on the outside.
But once you're there,
Yeah.
mm,
I would leave it at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eh,
Yeah.
I will just say, sometimes the respect of football and people in football is very important. You get into football, fine. And the education of being able to run a club and also being able to manage a club, let me say manage a club, it takes you a long time. It doesn't take 3 years or 4 years. It takes you time, Every single year you learn this, you learn that, you learn that, you learn that, But when you're surrounded by people who understand and know football, grab knowledge from them.
Yeah.
Don't debate with them. Don't argue with them. Don't fight with them.
Learn from them.
Put them close to you so that you can wanyanya. It is one area where I heard somebody at the club saying, and I was shocked. I said, but this person, does he understand something? And he just said, I don't understand this former players of football. It's more like they feel like they are entitled to get something from football, or they're entitled to be respected in football. I said to him, Hengwe, where would this club be if these people did not sacrifice their lives and played in the league, and made the league what it is today? So they have an entitlement. You need to recognize them. You go to you watch football in England, in Spain, or wherever, and you see the greats of football. They honor them even now. They are sitting there. They will not sit kwa kontwengela. Now I go, when I sit, sometimes I sit kwa extra strong. And here I am. I'm a part of people who helped that club Pirates survive. At some stages, had I not encouraged the players not to do something, because maybe that would have been the end of Pirates. Had I not said to my players, let's persevere, it would have been the end. And so is somebody who also supported that. And then here you are, you are new in football, basically new, and you're talking about people's entitlement. So do you want to tell me that when you are finished with the club, say you have served the club for 15 years, you want to be forgotten?
No, it can't be. Yeah.
So that's I'm just trying to give you an example as to the kind of atmosphere there is.
But that first season, why do you think there was, like, after doing so well, you then struggled? That's when the team released you. What do you think caused that?
Players gone.
Same problem.
Gone. Players were gone. Players were going, and we keep going. And Harris made this example. It will sound bad, but
Yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
Harris once made this example, and he said, this club, it's more like you are buying, you go and buy a Lamborghini,
Yeah.
ne? And then after buying a Lamborghini, you go out and then you take out the engine. You put the engineer 1400 in
Yeah.
the Lamborghini, and then Lamborghini, ulokela 1400, you put in 1400, and then when other cars are overtaking you in your Lamborghini, you get surprised.
Yeah.
Kanti, why is this car moving so slow? And that's what the situation was at the club, because at some stage you had to beg, don't sell this player. Don't sell this player because we don't have. Don't sell this striker. He's the last one we have. And
then finally go Baroka. I mean, what's the situation there? So have you been suspended? Because is it a suspension? Have you been released? And what led to that?
No, I'm suspended at the moment. Obviously, the reason is that I need to explain.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I've been suspended, and I'm going to hear on Tuesday what is going to happen.
Yeah. And I think just to respect your position, because it's still an ongoing thing, I think let's not get into it. And then just as a final segment, we're gonna do some fun stuff for a bit. But before we get to that, I just want to ask you the following in general about coaching. Some people call it a philosophy. Some people, I don't know what word to use. What is the Dan Malesela? Because all we know is that most of the time when we watch your teams play, there's a certain way that you play, right? And most of us as soccer fans, we appreciate that. So what is that philosophy, and what kind of influences have led to that?
I think it's total football. Yeah, I like a situation where we play complete football.
Yeah.
It doesn't have too many restrictions, but it's got a lot of discipline. And it's got a lot of understanding of what you're doing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
To understand what we are doing. I get so frustrated sometimes when there's a coach who's joining the club.
Yeah.
And you cannot describe how this team is playing.
How they play. Yeah.
There's no way that you can miss how Manchester City is going to play. We know they're going to play
what's going to happen. Yes.
There's no way that you're going to miss how Real Madrid is playing or Barcelona is playing. You will see, and that's when there is a clear indication of what people want to intend. But the sad thing, and with no disrespect, I don't think that there are a lot of people who can describe how Manchester United is playing.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
When I watch them, could be anything.
It can be anything.
It can be anything. Yeah.
How they will win, it can be anything.
Yeah.
So that's why. And now philosophy is something that must be clear to people to say, this man is playing this. We would know how SuperSport will play. And that's their philosophy. Pim or crosses, or set place, it's okay. That's their philosophy.
There's nothing wrong because style
Sabona, it's okay. And I prefer to play from the back, but I am not strict on saying when you see things change. There's no way, because we want to win a match.
Yeah.
There's no way that the goalkeeper is sitting here. I always tell the goalkeepers to say, look at the top first. Look at what's happening and look at the ability of our players. If you know this person has got speed, pin it to him. Let him outrun this defender. Let's see. And the other players will join. But in the majority, sometimes you don't often find those situations.
Yeah.
So we will try and play you, draw you so that you come out and then.
What are the benefits of playing? Because, and the reason why I'm asking is because I feel like now everyone is trying to do it. Sometimes you can see they don't really know how to do it. But what are the benefits? What do you encourage?
It's intimidation before the matches. People get scared. The teams talk and they get scared. They always say, "Ish, a very low team."
Yeah.
So you are winning one part of the match before you even play.
Yeah. But on the field tactically, does it do anything? Does it what does it help you with to build?
It helps. It helps. You see, one of the reasons why we are doing well in the country,
Yeah.
ne, it's how people allowed teams like Sundowns and Pirates and and other teams, to start learning to play football, because
Yes.
everybody in the world is
Yes.
playing football now.
Yes.
There's no longer this doom thing,
Yeah.
and it helps our players, and it also helps our country to be comfortable on the ball, because we have that nature. It's inborn. It's within us. We just have to either make it better and see how we can, combine it with the natural abilities of our players.
The biggest influence on you as a coach in terms of the kind of coach that you ultimately turned out to be and the type of football you like?
I think it's two. It's first is Ted and the coaches at the School of Excellence. I think the coaches at the School of Excellence would have contributed a lot more
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
than anything else. Your Sembata, the late James Mabena,
Yeah.
the late Mandla
Mazibuko,
Mazibuko. They played a huge role, in shaping my coaching.
And coach, why do you think? I mean, if you look at some of the other good coaches we've had in the country, local coaches, they've had at least one opportunity. Either if I say big three, but at least some of the more well-resourced teams, your Super Sport, Cape Town City, they've at least had one chance, Why do you think, besides the football that you play, besides the players that you've improved, even winning a trophy with an NFD team, why do you think you've never had?
And they bought them, ne?
And they
The
bought them,
players.
yeah. Why do you think you've never had? I won a fella.
I really don't know. I can't tell. I think maybe it's confidence. People not trusting you, or maybe sometimes it's people. Sometimes I know. Sometimes there was somewhere where I was supposed to go, but people talked bad about me. As this person who's being stubborn and all of that and all of that. Which is not the truth. People know you from a distance. You've never even worked with them, but they will describe you the way you are and whatever. Maybe it's how I speak in the interviews that intimidates people, or that people think, no, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
At some stages, somebody asked me about whether I'll be able to manage the egos of the players. I said, which ego? Which player can come to me and tell me whatever? Nah, because I don't think we can.
Yeah.
There are players that I showed, or this thing of you thinking that I have shown a number of players, and some of them have become. I once took a particular player to the mall because he was becoming arrogant, and I was not even coaching the senior team. I was with the juniors, but I heard that this boy is getting arrogant, and I said, let's walk. Let's go to the mall. Nalwe. You see, we are going to go in this door and get out the other door. Now, if there are more people greeting you than those that are greeting me, I'll give you 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay? If they greet me more than they greet you, I don't expect anything from you. I just want to show you something.
Yeah.
And we went. And to the worst part of it, as we went out of the mall, this other man asked me, and then who is this one?
Yeah.
And I said, you see, you're giving people attitude at the club, and you haven't even built a legacy. You see, for me, this is not wealth, but it shows the importance of my presence within the clubs or within the club that I've been to, that I've played for,
And you think that if given a chance at a team, like you said, you've never been a team off a budget. Get to a team, quality is there, the structure is right, they give you a budget, sign who you want. Is that something that you think you can still pull off successfully?
For sure, you're going to see something that you probably have not seen.
Yeah. Because, we've always been, some of us have always wondered.
You probably you'll see something very, very different.
Okay, coach. And then just to close up, we're going to do like just, the fun stuff.
Okay.
So the first one, because let's start with coaches, right? Or in fact, no, let's start with players because you played first. You were center back in your playing career, right? So I give you 2 center backs. I mean, it's not to say one of them is not good, but I give you 2. Just choose one.
I
right?
choose one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go. I may not mention some of the guys you played with because I didn't see them, but it will be mostly players that I've seen that I can talk about.
Okay.
I'm actually want to start current, and I'm gonna move back. Siema wa Orlando Pirates and Cupido, Mamelodi Sundowns.
I see him.
Siema, okay. Siema and Garankuwa.
Garankuwa.
Garankuwa and Dudley.
Garankuwa.
Garankuwa Mbogazi.
Mbogazi.
Mbogazi Olisenda.
Mbogazi.
Mbogazi Rema Hamut.
Mbogazi.
Mbogazi Siyabonga Sangweni.
Siyabonga Sangweni.
Siyabonga Sangweni Tawa Mato.
Siyabonga Sangweni.
Siyabonga Sangweni Fabian McCarthy.
Siyabonga Sangweni.
Siyabonga Sangweni Patrick Mabedi.
Siyabonga Sangweni.
Siyabonga Sangweni All John Mabizela.
All John Mabizela.
All John Mabizela Macfish.
Macfish.
Macfish Lucas Khadev.
Lucas Khadev.
Okay, so Lucas wins the center back challenge. Now I'm going to give you. Imagine you decide, aksabato coach, and you're sitting in the director's box. I'm going to give you 2 coaches until to coach your club.
Okay.
Gordon Egerson, Paul Doleza.
Am I allowed to say none?
You can say none. Then we'll start another 2.
None.
Okay. Let's see. Who was some of the successful coaches? Let's say Steve Kompela, Mangoba Mniti. Mangoba Mniti, Nel Tovi.
Mangoba.
There's some people I want to leave for last. Mangoba Mniti, Fadlu David.
Mangoba.
Mangoba Mniti, Kevin Hunt.
Mangoba.
Mangoba Mniti, Rolane Mokwena.
Wow. Rulani. Maybe because he's young. Rulani.
Rolani Mokwena, Stuart Baxter.
Rulani.
Rolani Mokwena, Jose Riviero.
Rulani.
Rolani Mokwena, Pito Msimani.
Pizzo.
Pito Msimani, Ted Dimitru.
What are you doing?
I knew you get like don't press that.
I would say Pizzo.
Pizza. Okay. So Pizza wins the coaches challenge. Oh, Coach, thank you so much. That was really
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah, sure.
We went on for so long because we're having fun,
Yeah, appreciate it.
And yeah, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. And just to close,
Mhm.
plans going forward. I mean, what are you open to? Are you also open to, let's say, someone wants you to be the head of youth, or are you strictly looking to continue as a coach, as a professional coach in the PSL or the NFD?
Yeah, depending which club it is in terms of youth, because I'm very sensitive with
Yeah,
youth.
yeah.
Depending which club it is, I'm willing to have that, to run that structure.
Okay.
If
Yes.
they say run the structure,
Mm.
and see what we can do, because the capability of producing players is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also open to clubs, to see what can happen.
Okay. No.
You know,
Thank you so much, Coach.
no, sure.
Guys, we'll see you
I
the
appreciate
next
it.
one.